All right, this right here is such an exquisite device. If you are a Fold fan, I mean, the buck stops here, man. You're looking at the Vivo X Fold 3 Pro. And this, my friends, is what Samsung should have produced. You know what? This actually reminds me of the Note 8. You guys remember that phone? This reminds me of the Note 8. I cannot begin to tell you how premium this rests in the hand. The feel of this device is so premium. The fingerprint sensor being here, flawless. Every single time, flawless. And if you notice, when I open it up, do you see that beautiful animation right there? And that animation can be changed. I mean, it just makes it a treat to enter into this phone. I love this phone, okay? And if you go ahead, I'm using one hand here. Open it up. That's my beautiful wife. Okay. You see you see just how amazing the screen is. Kept hitting the calendar. I mean, it's just such a good display. The quality on this thing is just wonderful. And you know, I can make a review on it if you like, but it's just wonderful. And this camera here, this camera is the best camera ever on a foldable device. This camera makes your photos look like magazine photos. Your point and shoot shots that you take of your kids, of your loved ones, of the area around you, okay, creation around you, they're gonna look like they came straight out of a magazine with this camera here. This is the global edition, so that means that it comes with Google services already pre-installed. And it just takes the headache out of you trying to get the Chinese ROM, which is, from what I hear, a more full-featured ROM. But it just takes that stress out of you trying to sort it all out and so forth. I mean, this, you know, right here, there's a screen protector on here. There's a pocket of air here, so I gotta work that out. But man, this thing is great. And one of the things I'm struggling with, to be honest, is I have my OnePlus open. And my OnePlus open, this was my favorite foldable until I got this guy. This was my favorite foldable. And let me tell you, this OnePlus open here is incredible. Incredible, okay? I love this device, all right? I don't know if you noticed that there. You see how this is so tightly sealed? But if you look in here, you were able to see a little bit of light being emitted. Let me go here. You're able to see like a little bit of light that was like through the display. Whatever. Anyway, this is amazing. A really great device to have, and I love the way this is done. Okay, but having this device, okay, having this fold, it makes this OnePlus open, it makes it feel like 3 years old. instantaneously, when you pick this up and you hold it, okay, and you see how just you just feel how intuitive and modern this thing is. I mean, can you see that? I don't know. I don't even know if I can rightly have you pick up the way this thing looks. And this is all customizable, okay? Again, the lock screen, that fingerprint scanner from the lock screen is amazing. And, that's not only in that screen, but that is also, so here's my lock screen where the phone is open. Boom, okay? You can, this works flawlessly. This is me behind the camera. I'm the one with the error. This gives me no problems. I cannot say enough good things about the biometrics on this phone. It's incredible. It's incredible. And while I love the multitasking on here, this is what's strong. The multitasking on this device is stronger than the multitasking on this device. It's great. I mean, you can get work done hardcore in here, but it's that open canvas, okay? And I feel like there's more support for the kind of apps I use for split screen and so forth. Like your Facebook, your Amazon, your Chrome, your text messages, your Gmail, all those things are going to be able to be split. Settings on both of them, I think they have a difficult time getting split, as opposed to those kind of apps on the Samsung doesn't have any problems with that. All right, I have my Z Fold 5 upstairs. I had the 6 for a little bit. I gave it back. The cover screen was just too tiny for me. But it's the same issue, it's the same thing, is that there are some apps that aren't able to be sizable, okay? But Samsung, pretty much all apps, it could work. This is like 95%, and then this is like 85% of the apps I use, 85 to 90%. And I just have little workarounds for it. That's all. You just learn to adapt to it. I think something else about this phone that kind of gets on my nerves is, and you would think it'd be there, but that dual display. So like when you dual preview, so when you take a photo, if I have this opened up and I take a photo, a person should be able to see themselves on this screen while I have this open and I'm shooting, right, with this camera open. That's not activated on here. I don't know why. A little bit annoying. It's not, the biggest deal in the world, but it's just kind of annoying. Other than that, and like maybe like a widget that never opens properly. My ChatGPT widget does not open properly on this, which is so bizarre. But those are the two major issues I have with it, is my camera preview, my ChatGPT. If you're into AI and stuff, like the AI is very weak on here. It's weak on here too. I think it's actually stronger on here on the Vivo than it is on the OnePlus. Okay, if you want me to make like a legit video, I do my best. I'm not at all like a reviewer. I know that there are people out here who want to see more of this Vivo, and I know that because I was the same. I remember I would be looking online on YouTube to find as many videos as I could about the Vivo X, and it was limited. There aren't a lot of people, and then I go to these channels and they're speaking like Hindi or they're speaking like another language, because this is a global phone and it was released in India. So, it makes sense. I wanted to find people from, this country, United States of America, who had this phone. And, I used T-Mobile on it. I got it, and for a moment it wasn't allowing my 5G, but I was able to connect to 5G. I got a message as soon as I popped the SIM card in that is a limited function of T-Mobile being used, but I haven't experienced any limits. I've taken this out. I use the Google Wallet. Tap to pay works smooth. Smooth. This is just such a premium device. If Samsung, check this, if Samsung took their OS and put it in here and then put an S Pen right in there, this would be the pinnacle. I would pay $2,500 for that device from Samsung. That's all that needs to happen. keep the cameras. Maybe you can change the design. I don't care about the design as long as it works. This has wireless charge. You guys already know the specs on this, I'm sure. If you're looking at this video, chances are you've checked the specs on this. You know this has wireless charging, 50 watts. I mean, it's fast wireless charging, 100 watts charge. I mean, it's amazing, okay? This phone doesn't have wireless charging, of course. Kind of annoying. And it's annoying because when I want to put it, I can't like have it on a nightstand in a really cool way, you know? This I can put on a nightstand on my wireless charger, you know, or I don't even really have to even, you know, it charges so fast. You can just let it just sit. Like sometimes I'll just let it sit up like this, you know, I'll just let it like, I'll just let it, the outer screen, because the outer screen can actually display things. Hold on one second. It's acting up for me now, but this is never really a problem. So the outer display will actually, you know, really be good at, will actually be really be good. I got it now. At just holding on to, you can see the always on display on the cover display. Okay, normally most of the other foldables, once you open it like this, you're gonna see the always on display here, but it's actually here because there's a tent mode. There's like a proper tent mode. It actually can detect. So whenever you take the phone and flip it on its side, it will automatically turn the camera, turn into like an alarm clock. Isn't that such a cool feature? Like that is so clutch. That is so cool. Okay, amazing. All right, that's the biometrics on this thing because it's just ridiculous. Picked up my face, unlocked from here. So yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to make it such a long video, but again, if you're here, you wanted to see this. If you have any questions about this phone, like honestly, like if you have any questions about this phone, just ask me and I'll do my best to answer, because I didn't get that from when I was looking to buy it. And I've been trying to put it through its paces and decide, like, do I really want to retire this? And I have a sweet spot for this OnePlus Open, man. I really do. I really do. This display outshines this one. It's just night and day. You're using this all day, and then you open up this Vivo. It's like, wow, I'm mesmerized by the display, the way it feels. But this display is amazing too. That matte display on it is great. I like the way the always on display. I like the notifications on this. I'll be honest. I like a little bit better how big the icons are. And then if I get a message, I get like a little message kind of preview. It's black in the background, but I see them. I like that. I like that touch. Whereas here, if I get an alert, it's just a little icon that pops up underneath the date here. And that, I mean, that's cool, but this is like the icons are really big. So I can say, oh, okay, I got a Gmail, I got YouTube. You can see that very clearly. Whereas here, it's going to be really tiny. And you can only pick, here, you can only pick 4 notification icons for the Vivo. All right. So there's a lot of other little quirks. And why don't you ask me? Because here's the thing is, one of the things that gets me upset about when you're looking at this phone and people are telling you about, oh, get the Chinese version, it's fine. And you know what? It is fine for you. If you're someone that doesn't care about like notification, you're like always on display, or you don't care about Android Auto, which I heard has come to the Origin OS, which is the Chinese version of this. If you don't, there's little things you may not care about. Okay, fine. But other people do. So I think for the most part, if you're used to a US phone and then you go get a Chinese phone, there are going to be things that you're going to miss. And not everyone's going to be able to deal with that. And they don't always cover the little things you'll miss. For instance, I learned that with the Chinese version of this, if you get the Chinese version of this Vivo Fold, yes, it's cheaper, you don't get access to RCS text messaging. So your Android friends, or even iOS 16, the iOS, 18 update that's coming out, they're able to access RCS. So you can now, iPhone and Android people can share full resolution photos and videos, okay, because of through the RCS feature that Android has. If you get a Chinese version of this phone, you won't be able to partake in that. All right. So do you really want to spend $1,200, $1,300, $1,500 on a phone and find out those little things. Those are those little quirks. So like, that's why this is the global version. If you have questions about this phon Touch OS, which is not Origin OS, I don't know a whole lot about Origin OS other than probably what you know, but I can tell you a lot about the phon Touch OS. It's a phon Touch OS 14. 15 I hear is coming out soon. Hopefully they'll correct that dual screen camera thing I was telling you about. But if you have questions about it, let me know, because I'll answer those questions so you can know ahead of time. All right. But this is, I mean, my goodness, it's just every time I pick this thing up, you know, I need to wipe it down, but every time I pick up this phone, it's a joy to pick up. It's night and day picking up that phone as opposed to picking up this phone. This feels like a phone that I would take out, like if I'm a construction worker, like, you know what I mean? For me, like, this is, you know, what I mean by that is I feel like you could be rough with it. You know, you can, you know, it's not going to fall. It feels like it's like a good grip. You know, it's kind of wide. Whereas this feels like you go into like a formal affair, you know, you're flexing. This feels like the kind of phone that it just screams premium. And I'm not saying that the OnePlus doesn't, but it's just the way that it feels. And I know that the OnePlus 2 is coming out and they want to make it thinner. And don't get me started on that, because the fact that they want to make this stuff thinner, I don't know what customer base that they're trying to serve, because customers are not over here complaining about these phones being too thick. They're complaining about not having enough features. And maybe what they're trying to do is, us power users, we want all the power. They just want to appeal to the people who think that this is too thick to replace their phones. And so maybe that's what they're trying to do. I don't know, but they're making it thinner, which I don't think it needs to be thinner. I think that's what makes this so easy to hold. And what makes me miss this, it makes me, when I'm using this phone, it makes me miss this phone, because this phone feels a little bit more like you've got to be more careful with it. Okay. It feels like you need to really respect this device more. I like how these buttons are really pronounced here, really, really pronounced, where they're more pushed in here. But here, I feel like you could just grip it and you can just, you know, it reminds me of the iPad and the S9 Ultra. You know, the S9 Ultra is such a beautiful device, a beautiful screen. It feels like just a big slab of glass. You know, you want to be gentle with it, where the iPad, you know, you throw a case in that thing, you just pick it up, throw it around, you use it. I mean, that's how I guess I use it. So maybe you're not like that, but this just feels a little bit more rough. Anyway, I'm speaking a whole lot. The Vivo X, let me know what you want me to do with this thing, and I'll show you more. And I hope this was helpful to you.